Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Intel Extreme Masters, as we are in our 4th series here on the main stream to figure out who is going to get themselves those top spots moving on into the bracket stage. Toast.
I just want to fit in. Everyone who stands in this spot does that every time by accident.
That's actually very true.
I just want to be cool like Roddy and Nick, so.
Well, you're now officially cool.
Yeah, okay.
There you go.
I won't do it again.
Congrats.
I just need to do it once.
Okay. It's going to be True versus Serral going up against one another. At the moment, Serral technically 2-1, whereas True 1-2. They are both 4-4 in maps, but Serral has had the upper hand so far and is looking better as the group's going on.
Yeah, he's like getting warmed up a little bit. Sure, Nurchio was able to take him down, but you know, this kid is legit. He's the real deal. We have no idea who's getting out of these groups yet. This next match is going to really line a lot of it up for us, but as of this moment, everyone's got a shot.
Yeah, definitely. What do you think, Todd, about how these two match up against one another, Serral and True?
I would say they're kind of like opposites, right? Serral likes to take it to the later stages of the game. He loves his macro, taking a lot of bases, whereas True, a pretty fast and furious guy, right?
Yep.
Likes to get right in your face, keep on attacking the whole time, and be the one on the aggression. So it might be offense versus defense, like it's not necessarily clear-cut as that, but that's how I would summarize most of their games would go a lot of the time.
You know, after watching a lot of the Serral versus Nurchio ZvZ, I really did like the way that Serral was playing that, and it was like Nurchio's late game qualities and experience that beat Serral. So I think Serral might be even favored against True, and I'm a huge fan of True's ZvZ.
All right, well, we're about to find out as we head over to the stage to introduce our players.
That is correct, Claris. It's been an amazing day of games for Group C so far, but the show must go on. This Finnish player is not done yet. He's taken out Zest and Patience, and he wants to add another Korean to that death list. While his opponent, the DreamHack Montreal champion, desperately wants this win as he sits at 1-2. Please welcome on stage, it's Serral and True!
What's up, guys? It's Tasteless and Pig, and we are about to hop into the ZvZ with Serral versus True.
The Korean madman we had a shot of just then, True, the Korean Bly, as some have started calling him, up against this little monster down here. Serral, a young player who's been up and coming. He's been on people's tongues for a few years, but he's been busy with school, studying. He's had peaks, but hasn't really had that huge breakout LAN performance just yet. But I think after, I mean, I haven't got to see too many of his matches, but casting him versus Nurchio before, even though he lost, just his skill, you know when you can see a player just playing faster, just building more stuff than the other guy?
He looks really scary in game. Now, I think it's very fair to say that True should win this based off how well we've seen him play. Let's not forget when we saw him, you know, in Montreal. This guy was a beast. He was killing everybody. But Serral may be the exception to that rule here. ZvZ, both these guys, I would say, very good at the matchup. I'm super excited to see what kind of results we're going to see here.
It's going to be really interesting. You can always go either way in this matchup, especially when you've got someone who pulls out those wild and crazy strategies, such as our Psystorm player over here. It is going to be a best of 3. Very important for both players to win this series. This entire group is almost neck and neck right now. Everyone within a set of each other's scoreline.
All right, let's go ahead and intro our players. In the upper left, in the red, he is Serral.
Facing off against him in the bottom right-hand side of Belshire Vestige, the Blue Zerg playing for Psystorm Gaming. It is True. A bit of a divisive player, you know, really gets a lot of fans for his creative plays, and at the same time, sometimes has you know, people who underestimate his skill, because sometimes he goes for one of these wild out there builds. It doesn't quite work. People don't understand it, and they think he's he's gone a bit mad or something like that. But I think really True is just so good at making these aggressive plays work, these wild strategies. He's one of the most manual players in the game. What I find really fascinating when I watch True play first person is like the entire way he controls his units, uses control groups. It seems like he's always prepared for the game to just break up into a series of mini battles all over the place. He's never relying on just one control group. It's always ready for that chaos and that multitasking.
One thing I find with True is tactically, he is one of the best players I've ever seen. You give this guy a few set of Lings, Roaches, and Banelings, and he can dismantle a lot of very good players. A lot of times, you can see that he's thinking on his feet. He's just reading the army movements of his opponent. And, you know, usually that's a sign of a very, very good Zerg player. They're not just winning with macro. They're not just winning, you know, with proper placement of their army. It's they get in there, they hit there, then they hit there. They know where your next screen's going to be, and they'll attack you where you're not.
And that is something which can allow a player to come back from situations where a more standard player might not necessarily be able to do that. We did see Serral, you know, get quite ahead against Nurture in his games, but eventually fall due to just the masterful engagements. Of course, anything could happen here. So far, both players kind of respecting each other's play, just expanding quite safely, getting out their queens, their Zergling speed. What's going to be interesting, though, is to see, do they opt for Baneling tech or for Roaches? Looks like both players are going to be going for a nice, fast third base, so relatively standard, comfortable openings so far.
Yeah, mirrored builds so far. We don't have, I believe, hardly any Lings out on the map here. I think there's some coming down here for Serral to poke at that hatchery, but with 4 Lings here from True, they'll be forced to rotate elsewhere. Really good control so far here by Serral, but it looks like True does manage to come out on top, winning that 3v2. And that will force Serral to retreat back on the map. Back over here at the production tab, we see both players are making Banelings. However, it's True that's already got 12 coming out. Or 12 Zerglings coming out.
It looks like Serral really has found a formula that he just likes in Zerg vs. Zerg, which is very defensive in this initial phase. Always droning slightly more than his opponents and trying to sit there and just absorb whatever Ling Bane aggression his opponent throws at him.
Something that I always find funny about this is like, does True do this because he kind of won that Ling battle or something? Or does he do this, is this what he was going to do no matter what? This is what I find super intriguing about True. So this game, in fact, could end very quickly. He needs to disguise just how many Lings he's going to get. But here we go, classic True coming in, takes out one drone. The Banelings are not finished yet.
Doesn't wait at all. The Zergling's already getting a nice trade. 2 work kills. The Baneling's not coming in there. The Queen will eventually whittle those Zerglings down, but a good start to the aggression here for True. Behind this, it's non-stop Zergling production and already a Roach Warren on the way. It looks like True just wants to go straight in, attacking as hard and fast as possible.
A whiffed Baneling detonation back there. Another drone goes down, continuing to run. It seems like True is actually hitting 3 different places at once. The third hatchery under attack as well.
Oh, Serral manages to hold on in the main, cleans up those Zerglings very efficiently, but Zerglings are picking away at the third base, and really True's aim here is just to keep Serral busy. So far, Serral's defense very strong, but because Serral is so far back on his corner of the map, he doesn't know that there's a Roach transition going on behind this, and this is not an economic Roach transition. It is an all-in follow-up for True. He is just massing Roaches, and he wants these Zerglings to do more damage and to keep Serral back so that the Roaches come as a surprise.
The goal here with True ramping up his aggression like this is that Serral, this is assuming that Serral doesn't detect the aggression coming, Serral will go back to producing drones, and it seems like he's been doing that. We've seen about 6 more drones pumped out here, but there's already so many Roaches. He has to escort these Roaches over there as quickly as possible. A Queen here on the map to drive back Overlords to spot.
Good Baneling there with this, and now
Also,
the Roaches have been spotted.
Yeah, and that Overlord has not been killed, so he can't deny that. And it looks like now we're going to see where exactly these Roaches are going to go. Speaking of Roaches, Serral's Roach Warren just now finishing. Will he have enough? We're going to find out.
Doesn't have a lot of gas in the bank, only able to start 4 Roaches to kick things off. Does still have a large Zergling count though. Lots of Queens as well coming down to the front to reinforce. True continuing to just harass around here, sniping off drones where he can. But Serral is up 5 workers. He is comfortable. If he can hold on here, he's going to be in a fantastic position.
He's going to have to target properly with the Roaches. The Baneling connections are going to be key. It seems like he wants to rotate around here, but not with the Lings, just with the Roaches. He's going to run the Lings, it looks like, into the main, if I'm seeing this correctly.
Oh, this is a really sick rotation. Serral doesn't see this coming. Those Zerglings going to dive into the natural. Serral's quick on the ball, though. Gets on top of it, shuts it down.
Good job cornering that right over there. More Banelings coming over here to the right. So many Roaches, though. The hatchery nearly dead.
Serral's defense is perfect. He hasn't taken any damage, and he gets the wraparound on the Roaches. If he can eliminate these, then he will be so far ahead. And he's going to do it, Tasteless. He's going to crush True's attack.
But True is not stopping his production, I guess because he can't. He has to keep making links, keep making Roaches, and try to do possibly a killing blow. However, as you were saying, Pig, Serral's defense seems perfect. He is impenetrable to the aggression here from True.
And can we get a shot of Serral's vision outside True's natural? His Overlord has seen everything. He keeps seeing these units rallying out rather than workers. Because of this one Overlord, he just saw several Roaches and Lings. He knows that True isn't building drones right now. He knows that as long as he doesn't over-drone and he just keeps defending, he's going to be in a fantastic position.
Wow, and I love this. Coming down here, he's going to be able to kill this Roach. This is going to cause True to be devoting much more of his attention onto this side of the map. And when you look at the worker count, 35 here for Serral, 24 here for True. That's something that True cannot allow to stay like in this game for too much longer.
Not at all. Serral just poked those Zerglings into the natural. He saw there was only 5 workers on the natural, and he's going, whoa, wait a second, you have almost no economy. And all he is doing now is producing units, Roaches, Zerglings, Banelings. All he has to do is stop this next wave, and True is about to run out of steam.
There's certainly more sophistication for the army here of Serral. He has Banelings as an option. However, there might be more muscle coming in here with this army.
The Banelings!
Oh! Nicely done there. I just don't think that he can actually break him. I think that Serral's basically survived this. Let's see. Serral, like we said, he's really good at his army movement, so if he can maybe outposition his opponent, that might be enough.
Serral is solid as a rock, and he is holding on so well. Nice bit of a concave here for True, but Serral's Zerglings and Banelings come forward. His Roaches pushing on out, and he is up 30 supply right now. Defends the attack, keeps his third standing, and he's still got an 11-worker lead behind this. A massive economic advantage.
I'm under the impression that assuming that True loses this, he won't play this style of aggression again, since it seems to have no effect on the way Serral is reacting.
Nurchio tried it, and it didn't work in any of his games. He always had to grind out an advantage later on. Now True trying to throw the kitchen sink at Serral, and it's just not doing anything. Serral is just so unstoppable in this early game. It feels like there's just no way to catch him off guard.
Yeah, and at this point in time, Serral has enough tools at his disposal to even send little groups of Lings like this to try to harass, to keep True pinned back in his base.
Yeah, and every time he sees that the worker count's still so low, he just goes, oh, okay, cool, I'll just keep building plenty of units, and I will soon enough, I mean, he's going to be ready to counterattack himself. He's adding a +1 range upgrade, he's got more Banelings, his Roach count is getting out of control as well, and using those Zerglings to maintain a little bit of pressure on True's side of the map, this is just perfect, balanced, solid play out of Serral.
We can see here now, that True is trying to go back into drones. However, Serral is now, giving True a little bit of a taste of his own medicine here. Picks off a queen and then runs back away. I don't really see how True can get ahead here.
It's a desperate position, but if there is one guy who knows how to play it out from here, it is going to be True. He's been down behind in many situations before, but because he's such a master of aggressive tactics, he's a master of positioning and counterattacks and fancy surprise plays, he's one of the guys who can potentially make it happen, but not if these Zerglings continue to find their way into his base. Look at the multitasking from Serral, just splits these Zerglings up into squads, individually focusing down drones, and he's going to take down 5, 6, 7 workers. Oh man, that's massive. 8 drones go down. Just huge.
Very nicely done with those 8 drone kills. Right now, the worker count is 49 to 32. That is a huge lead in a mirror matchup like ZvZ. So let's see what True does from here. There is an impending attack coming here from Serral, and I just don't know if there's going to be anything True can do to stop it. This +1 range attack is about to finish, and it's certainly going to be very scary.
Serral looks like he wants to make the counterattack happen right now. He has a huge army. I don't think he wants to commit to this concave. He's going to be a little bit careful. He's going to back off. He doesn't want to give True that angle just yet. There we go. He catches one flank and just dives on top of that one. Serral just going to pounce on top. He knows he's got the numbers. He has just weathered attack after attack and slowly eked out a massive advantage. Now it is a numbers game. Serral's Roaches rolling over the top, showing mastery in macro and defense. And now he's going to close it out.
GG. Serral wins game number 1. True took the risk, and it didn't pay off.
beautiful game out of Serral. This guy just keeps impressing me so much. I was a little bit doubtful hearing all the pros say he's a beast on ladder. He's so good.
I was as well. I mean, I knew he was good. Especially when he got this far, I was like, okay.
But you're kind of waiting for that confirmation. Like, can he actually bring it on?
Yeah,
land?
exactly.
We've heard this hype so many times before, and so many times you're disappointed. They come out and everyone says, oh, they got nervous. But so far, man, Serral he's living up to his name.
He really is. And I got to praise True for how good a lot of his decision-making was back there. He was very, very on point with, trying to get over there, hit a queen, splitting the lings up. But ultimately, Serral was just too good. Let's go ahead and check in with Katowice and see how the other games going on in today's Intel Extreme Masters are going.
All right, thank you very much, guys. Of course, we do have a few updates here to talk about. Let's talk to Todd first about Zest versus Patience. I believe it's 1-0 already.
Yes, Patience apparently wanted to get a little bit cheeky, and he went for a cannon rush in game number 1, and Zest didn't scout it. He was inside of his base, so he basically died. That was pretty straightforward. We're now in game number 2 on Proxima Station, and it just started, so there's not much to tell about it. Even though Patience is proxying, it's going to take some time before there's any action, so I'll keep you guys posted.
Okay, and checking in now with Artosis, who does have Pili Pili versus Nurchio.
Yeah, it just started up, game 1. We can actually jump in and look at it right now. No big surprise as to the strategy that we are seeing here. Carriers coming out of Pili Pili. He did open up with 3 gates and an Oracle, so it was a little bit masked. And Nurchio, he's already getting pretty big. He's taking lots of bases. He has his Hydralisk down already and is actually going up to Aspire. So definitely we'll see some Corruptors coming into play. But Pili Pili really specializes with this type of PvZ. We've seen him very strong with it throughout the week. So I don't know. This could be a close one. Like Pili Pili might be like the upset master of Katowice this year.
Maybe. Who knows? Should have won that previous serve. But anyway, of course, we did have True versus Serral continuing on with that first game. Bit of a bloodbath, really, back and forth, very kind of knife fight-esque, as people called Zerg versus Zerg a long time ago.
Yeah, but Serral took that down, right? I was actually paying a lot of attention to this game.
I was paying attention to your games as well. Todd,
I'm pretty sure he did, because I was glancing up and he was winning and holding on against all the attacks.
Can we have a look at laptop 1?
Can we take
look at that.
Maybe?
Because Patience was being pretty aggressive, actually, as we jump in. He pulled back. Yeah. He was actually dropping Immortal. He's trying to be very aggressive. He's on one base, and
I like this. He's going for Speed Prism and Disruptor with the Immortal Bust tech, so that's kind of cool. You don't see that very often.
Yeah, he's basically all in no matter what here. You can't expand, I think, from there, or it would be... Actually, you can.
If you kill a lot.
Hard. He stayed on one base for so long that I think he has to go for
it. Look at this move. This is so awesome. Oh, you kidding me? That's cool.
My God.
That's cool.
That was cute.
I almost want to stay in it, but I think we can't.
I think we have to get back to game
We've canceled the main stage match.
All right, enough of you. Calm down, calm down.
Oh my God, there's 13 mutas on the way.
Shush, I don't care about yours either now at this point. We're going back to the main game. Just ignore these guys for the moment. As we have our Zerg versus Zerg, True versus Serral continuing on.
Man, those guys are funny. All right, we are going to go into game number 2 here. So far, Serral has had stellar defense. True. Yep. Doing what he normally does. He's very good at being aggressive. He usually dismantles players and doesn't even have to go into the late game if he doesn't want to. I think in this case, he might have to play a more conservative ZvZ. I don't see Serral losing a game in this series to the style we saw from True in game 1.
Yeah, it was almost a generic, let's just try and hit you on the front as hard and fast as possible. Obviously, a lot of fancy maneuvers in terms of how he positioned for it, but Serral was impervious to pretty much all of it. He lost a drone here or there, but overall, he shut it down. Spawning down here in the bottom left-hand side of Cactus Valley, the Finnish Zerg player playing for Ents Gaming, it is Serral.
And his opponent hailing from South Korea in the bottom right, in the blue, he is True!
Some intense intro music there.
Damn right.
Intense it should be, because we're about to see a very intense strategy out of True. He's going for a very fast gas and pull.
Okay, all right.
Base
all right, guys. Remember Pig like a few minutes ago where I was saying, well, clearly True can't go for this aggressive strat because it won't work against Serral. And then True looked at me, turned it up to 11 and ripped off the knob. Okay, I guess that's what we're gonna have here.
Hey, you said be a bit more conservative. He was like, no, I'm not being aggressive enough, man.
I'm
Foot
like-
on the throttle,
I'm like,
let's
there's go. no way to blow up Serral's defense. As True looks at me and says, more gunpowder, tasteless. That's the only way. So let's see what happens here.
Serral's opened up pretty safe, though. He has gone for a pull first, and Serral really has lucked out here, guys. This is a 4-player map, but his Overlord is already coming in the right direction. There's a 1 in 3 chance that you're going to scout first towards your opponent with your first Overlord, and that's exactly what Serral's going to do. So he's going to see these Zerglings the moment they leave the base.
Ooh,
And
he's
just
going north, Piggy.
He's going to see. Okay, the Zerglings are actually waiting.
Oh, this is so sneaky.
Oh my gosh, Serral, you have to check for the creep in the main base.
Yeah.
Every Zerg player knows that there is a chance of a 1-base all-in, but Serral has turned this Overlord away too early. Now he assumes there is no Zergling rush coming from this corner of the map. This is disastrous. Serral's sending his Zerglings. Okay, he's sending one Zergling kind of in this direction, which might run into these Zerglings, but still, it's going to be kind of late warning. He has a Baneling nest at home.
Boom!
2 more Zerglings. There we go. He sees it, but he doesn't know this isn't expand behind this. True wants to cancel his expansion while getting his own up.
Yeah.
It's not completely all in, but it has to do a lot of damage.
All right, well, he is sending one Ling down here. This is something funny with the build. Had these Lings gone in an opposite direction because he doesn't know the starting location, this could have been a different game, but he gets up there and realizes, ruh-roh, he's going to go down here now. Now we have 10 Lings on the way and a Baneling's, excuse me, not just a Baneling's nest, there are Banelings coming up here. It's very important that True gets a hatch denial, or this could be a huge problem for him as this game progresses forward.
And Serral has no idea that this is the expansion variation, so he's just going to give up the natural. I think this is really bad for Serral. If he goes down there, I think he can defend this. There we go. He's going to go down and try to hold on. He's got to hold on to that hatchery. With the Banelings, he should be able to do it. So far, good micro from Serral. He can't engage the Zergling versus Zergling. He's just got to use his Banelings, and the Zerglings are there to support the Banelings and stop them getting picked off individually. So far, really nice micro out of Serral.
Fights like this are some of the most intense micro moments in all of StarCraft II, and it's crazy because it happens so early in the game. But yeah, these few Banelings, these Queens, and the small number of Lings against this big wave that True had, it's going to be problematic. Now, I think with a Spine Crawler up here, there's really no way that True can bust him. So True's now going back here and making a bunch of drones to try to stabilize. As far as worker count goes, it's 20 to 18 right now with True in the deficit.
Oh, he needs to get this Zergling because Serral has no idea what the follow-up is. He's going to lose that Zergling, and it all comes back to that Overlord. Because of this, you can see Serral's worker count not quite where it potentially could have been, but nonetheless, he's got 2 Queens, he's got 2 hatcheries, he's even on workers, and he has the faster Baneling nest. So even though Serral, I mean, I think he could be massively ahead if he scouted that with the first Overlord, he's still going to be in a completely fine position from here, and looks like he even wants to put on a little bit of counter pressure.
Yeah, well, you know, because Serral basically survived the early part. It's funny because he has the drones, he has the position, but he doesn't have the intel all the time.
Good micro here from True.
Oh, he's
snipe off one of the
coming in,
Banelings.
getting some drone kills. 2 drones go down, and he does not get that third one.
Oh, you're going to transfuse that Baneling. Gonna have to do that. Serral microing back and forth. That Baneling goes down. The Zerglings, oh no! The Queens went off the ramp. A huge blunder there from Serral. The Zerglings diving into the main base. True finds an opening. Serral, good drone micro so far, but workers are starting to fall right now. The damage is getting done, and True equalizes up that worker count. A good little bit of damage.
This is the thing I keep saying about True. He's so good at cracking defense.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't matter if you get the positioning and you know all the concepts and the idea of where to split the Lings. He just controls so much better than other Zerg players, especially in ZvZ.
He did all of that while defending his own natural perfectly as well, which is what was so impressive about it. Serral, though, he's good at multitasking as well. He's going to come in, nab a drone for himself, dive on into the main base and get a scout off. He sees, okay, no land, no Roach Warren, and is going to get a second drone kill. Not a bad little trade there for 5 Zerglings. Behind this, an Evolution Chamber going down for Serral, who I don't think has a Roach Warren. There we go. Okay, so
Okay.
nice
Gonna get the wall set up here.
Yeah, really safe way to just protect himself from any Ling Bane attacks.
We also have the Roach Warren coming down here for True. No third base.
Oh! Oh my gosh, that is huge.
This is what's so crazy about Zerg versus Zerg is your screen's not in the right spot for 1 second. You are not so vigilant on the map. And you could lose. I mean, that was so many Zerglings.
Yeah, I mean,
that was such a big loss of a huge asset that True had going into this game.
And you could see the way Serral was shepherding him in that direction as well. He had a Baneling behind the Zerglings trying to catch them. Specifically shepherded those Zerglings into the other surprise Baneling. And this is so effective because neither player has great vision on the map right now. They've been so busy microing, they haven't really had time to set up their Overlords. Nice counterattack here from Serral again. Oh, this guy is just so solid. Keeps finding openings while getting roaches +1 and a faster lair behind this. I feel like the longer the game goes, he just always gets ahead in supply.
Yeah, he really does. And you also made a good point earlier, Pig, I want to highlight, is that the Overlord position here is a little bit weird overall. So that we did end up in a situation where, yeah, like, for instance, those that Baneling could come from a certain angle and actually hit those lanes. No, we have 3 bases on the way here. True's is going to finish much earlier than Serral's will. However, I do feel like, just as you were saying, Pig, I think Serral's going to have more muscle in this game the longer he stays in it.
Yeah, he's just shown so much experience and poise at all the stages of the game, and really just shows a very strong mechanical and macro understanding of how to play StarCraft here. He's got that roach speed on the way, roaches, drones. Looks like they're both just going to settle into this roach versus roach game of StarCraft. One of my favorite things to watch, especially on such a short rush distance.
Pig loves his roaches, don't you, Pig?
Oh,
we got a great roach v roach fight coming up here for you guys. Again, roach v roach is like it's actually very similar to the Ling v Ling and with the Banelings that we see a lot of times in the early game in ZvZ. You're trying to get some of those roaches to fan out, go to certain locations, try to hit those drones while the rest of your army can come in at a better angle, get it concave versus their army convex, and close it out.
And this map has a lot of choke points on it, a lot of really tight areas. So yeah, finding a frontal engagement where you can get that concave is very difficult, which is why so many players focus a lot more on multi-prong counterattacks as the game goes on here. There is a faster +2 on the way for Serral. That's huge. So he's going to have like a really sick window, not only right now where he's got +1 and True doesn't have any upgrades, but then again, he's going to have +2 way quicker. So Serral's going to have a lot of chances to take positive trades, but hats off to True. He's caught up in supply and actually overtaken Serral slightly.
Okay, beginning to drive back this Overseer here. There's been a little bit of scouting. This is one of the parts in ZvZ where it does kind of slow down a little bit. They're both in this roach tech, eventually getting more and more Ravagers here as well. So we'll have to see who's going to be making the first move here, or if they decide to take a 4th base. I think the 4th base on this map is pretty clear for both players where they're going to get it. It's the one that's hugging not far from their main and their natural.
Yeah. I love the patience of Serral. You can really see a player who has played defensive Zerg vs Zerg almost more than any other pro player. This roach counterattack comes in on the 3rd base for Serral while he deflects the Zerg counterattack. Sick move. Grabs 3 drones, wastes a little bit of mining time. He's even going to pick off a roach before he runs
Nicely done.
on out of there.
Yeah.
It's just these little moves he always has in position so that if his opponent overextends and just isn't watching at home, they're going to lose all of their drones very suddenly. At the same time, he moves into pressure the front. No Infestor transition behind this just yet this game. It's all about the Roach Ravager. His +2 isn't quite done, but he's already looking for an angle.
Yeah, I like how he's trying to fire that Corrosive Bile on the edge there because a lot of the roaches will be wrapping around that point in time. Good positioning, though, here by True. It's not... Oh, see, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. Runs in there with the 2 roaches, gets 2 more drones. And that... You know, this might be a game of death by 1,000 cuts here with Serral versus True.
I think Serral really wants to fight. He knows his +2 is about to finish. There we go. It kicks in. He knows he has an upgrade up right now. He's going to try and use Corrosive Bile to break this concave, but True has a lot of units here. I don't know if he's going to be able to force his way on in.
This is one of the funny things about Corrosive Bile is that True can actually scoot Serral's army back. If he does end up overextending over there. I think Serral actually not quite controlling well, and we actually see True beginning to get a larger supply as far as army goes. Is he going to dive in? Is he going to go for it?
You know, it's funny on this map, it's really hard to commit to this frontal fight. This is what I was talking about before. These choke points make it really hard to just force that battle, but counterattacks are powerful. You know, attacking from behind is great. True's army is getting massive though right now. I think Serral's a little bit overconfident with this upgrade advantage because look at this. He's actually way down 30 army supply right now. When this +2 kicks in for True, I think True's just going to look to overwhelm him in one massive engagement.
Yeah, that's one way to do it. I think Serral realizes that, you know, after testing the perimeter of True's territory on the map, there just wasn't much he could do to crack it, so Serral's going to have to go back and continue to try to upgrade and get a larger army here. True right now, maxing out, is on the move, obliterating any Overlord in his path.
Yet another Roach counterattack is set up for Serral. As always, though, there is a few Roaches this time for True, ready to defend that. He's just going to focus down as many workers as he can. True's already small economy, getting smaller and smaller with his focus fire. Great control from Serral, but he is still down in army supply. His infestors aren't finished. His carapace upgrade isn't finished yet. He has to hold on against this huge army from True.
Looks like he's going to be trying to get some of those corrosive biles there to properly connect, so that you know, if True were to try to push down, he would end up getting hit. The rocks are now torn down. True's
going to get in position. He's going to cut him off. Massive maneuver from True. Catches Serral partly out of position. Dives on top. Great dodge from Serral on the corrosive bile. But so much of his army is stuck behind each other. All of those Ravagers just wedged behind. And it looks like True's attack gaining a little bit of ground. But Serral's micro, very patient, very calm. He's holding on for now. The Roach Warren, though. The Roach Warren's exposed. He has to fight. He has to hold on here.
If the Roach Warren's taken down, he won't be able to produce anything that he needs for his army at this point in time, and he takes it out.
Massive. Serral can't build new Roaches right now for another 45 seconds. That new Roach Warren has just started up. In the meantime, all he can do is just bank that money and wait. But it looks like he's deflected True's army for the moment.
By the way, Serral does have a hatch in the north here. He's not using it yet, but I mean, once he gets drones there, his production is going to be pretty good. True is not really focused on a fourth base, at least from what we've seen, whatsoever here. So True does need to do some more damage and do it very quickly.
Oh, Fungal's ready. He's got 2 Fungals. Those are so important because, as we said before, True never really droned up that third a lot. He lost some drones to the counterattacks, and that's why True's economy is so much lower right now. He needs to just push for the win right now using that bigger maxed out supply count. But Serral here, he's got the high attack, he's got the infestors, he's got the carapace upgrade, and it looks like if he can land the Fungal.
Go! The Fungals connect, and so do the corrosive biles. But True continued his push down here into the north. We have so many more good Fungals up connected. I think that it's possible Serral might be able to beat True back.
Massive hold from Serral, dodging corrosive biles with ease. Meanwhile, just raining down fiery death upon the Blue Zerg army. True just doesn't quite have enough here, and it looks like Serral's gonna hang on. Too many Roaches, too many Ravagers. The Fungal was too good, and even though he loses the 4th base, Serral holds on.
Amazing. Serral taking no prisoners back there. However, True did smash that fourth base. So it is still 3 base versus 3 base, but a clutch play back there by Serral.
Oh yeah, did he keep any of those infestors alive? I would be very curious. No, it looks like he did lose both infestors. That's a real shame. You know, just having a couple infestors gaining energy is kind of the equivalent of having an extra bunch of drones, because that energy ends up acting as a resource of its own as it gathers in. But Serral, he's got the gas in the bank. He's quickly rebuilding 4 infestors, so he's still up 6 drones. He's rebuilding the 4th, and True is stuck on 1 track, and that one focus, that 1 track is just aggression. He's saying, I need to kill you, and I need to kill you soon. I'm too far behind in economy. I don't have the infestors. My one plan is mass roach, and I need to find a way to make this work.
You know, it's interesting because True plays Barbarian Zerg, okay? Like, he wants to win with clubs, okay? But Serral seems to be teching up. Serral has the ability to use fire and things like that. True right now, that last battle was like fire bad. But he's staying on this really, I mean, in this entire series, actually, he's just stayed on a more basic amount that might be a little bit stronger in a certain window of time. It's really impressive here, but I don't know if True is going to have that many more tricks up his sleeve as the tech here from Serral gets more and more sophisticated.
Yeah, I mean, the more times you swing with that club, the more times you miss, the better your opponent gets at ducking and weaving, and the closer they get to upgrading Axemen. And when that happens, club time is out. And these infestors over here, they're the next level of technology. They're the axe to the club. They're going to just absolutely destroy in the next engagement if he can fight front on. So True here, maneuvering a little bit, will probably be looking to counterattack and split him up. I think if he just goes in here front on, he's going to get destroyed.
Oh, he's got to be careful. Infestors on the move. But the Roaches are not there to escort them. There is an overseer here, so he needs to be careful because he could lose all those infestors.
Roach counterattack, there we go. True going north right through the center of the map. He says, okay, it's time to split you up. I'm going to use movement to catch you out of position. I'm going to rotate. I'm going to attack where you're weak, where you're weakest. And right now, there's only a few roaches up there for Serral. Not enough to defend this. True has outmaneuvered the Finnish Zerg, and he's going to start to get a lot of damage done.
He's going to unburrow here. He's trying to buy time to keep this hatchery alive. The drones have taken cover as well. We saw Serral go back and forth. I'm not clear on what Serral's army at the bottom of the map is doing. He's gone towards True and away, and then towards True and away for a little bit too long, and the hatchery goes down again. True winning at that game of whack-a-mole, Pig.
Manages to take down the hatchery. This is very important to keep True's hopes alive in this game. He's still down on tech, so I've got to admire the patience there of Serral. Not panicking and attacking into a choke point where the Ravagers could hold on. Just saying, you know what, I have the better army. Let's just lose the hatchery, save the drones, and we'll rebuild it. And I'm going to just try and re-establish that map control. And this is the important part here, is can Serral track where True's units are on the map, and can True evade that vision and really surprise him with his next maneuver?
All right, he is doing a good job of locking out overlords on the map. The center of the map, as far as intel goes, is going to Serral. Here. By the way, Serral gets a quick peek over here, sees that there's another hatchery here. The Roaches trying to muscle their way past Serral's defenses as this hatchery is being made.
This time there's enough roaches on the defense. Serral, with great positioning here, is going to be able to hang on here, especially with a little bit of fancy burrow micro and a few more roaches reinforcing. Meanwhile, Serral getting some pressure back onto True's side of the map. A few roaches on the right-hand side.
I believe there's an attack in the center right. Okay, never mind. The two roaches were there, but that's going to be cleaned up. But the army now of Serral moving through the center.
How is he going to stop this? There's a huge open area. He can try to evade the fungals in that open area, but he's got to be careful. The infestors are right there.
Oh, the fungals go down, and True's army disappears in a matter of seconds. He's going back. Concave going to favor True right now. I don't know if Serral can push down this ramp.
Oh, he's got the better army by far, but you're correct, Tasteless. This is a really awkward angle to attack into. He's going to try and poke in and out, manages to nab a few roaches. Very well microed by Serral so far. He's got full energy infestors in the back of this army. He's got Hydralisks joining in. The firepower here is getting out of insane. And True, this is his one last desperate moment. He needs to wrap around this entire army. But each time he goes in, Serral just patiently pulls back, picks off a few roaches, and repositions. He's not letting him get the angle that he needs.
Yeah, it looks like Serral really wants to wrap around this this top center little rocky area and try to come in. But it's not going to be easy. He's going to try to edge in here with the infestors. Can he actually come in here and do it? We're going to see.
Oh, does manage to kind of dodge a fungal there. True, in and out, but Serral is getting the better end of these trades. He's got the superior ranged power on this army. He's got the superior mobility as well, even though he is off creep. He's going to push forward now. He's had enough. Ravages in the front line is very dangerous, though.
All right, he's going to try to come in. Again, True, though, with very good angling. The pressure really going on over here. A counterattack down here at the bottom with the roaches. By the way, Serral taking an expansion here at the top.
Serral, he's going to need to force his way in soon. And oh my god, that fungal bile was massive.
Whoa!
Doing huge damage. The roach counterattack is being intercepted by Serral's rally. His multitasking on point right now. He's just going to need to get a few more roaches together before he can defend this huge counterattack from True.
Too many roaches coming in here now. Keep in mind, Serral's maxed out. He's not producing.
He's having a little bit of trouble with the counterattack, but he is destroying True's army on the front. Beautiful fungals tore the entire army apart.
Serral's going for the jugular. At the same time, though, True is in the main here. So many roaches. He's going to have to fight with these and try to remax with those roaches. But look at the supply. Look at the supply. 188 to 111. Serral just seems to be too big. And all of a sudden, it seems like True is falling apart.
True fought so hard for so long. He pulled out every trick in the book to try and win this one over. But at the end of the day, solid as a rock, Serral just crushes it. Manages to overwhelm True. This last desperate counterattack, it's doing damage. But at the same time, all of the economy of True has been eliminated. His main army has been eliminated. And that huge force of Serral is making its way back across this map. And it's only a matter of time before True's force gets cornered.
Yeah, I gotta say, even though it looks like True's doing a lot of damage here, the fact of the matter is that Serral actually got too big on the map. There's too many locations that True would have to stamp out. And Serral is actually just going to regroup his entire army try to come in here and smash this one last time, and then probably either go for the kill or just deny True from ever getting another hatchery again. And to be honest, I don't know if True is aware of the supply disparity here. Oh! Here we go! Boom, 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 boom.
That
takes them all out. GG! Serral, unbelievable play back there.
out of this world. He is really just showing a class of his own here. Raw mechanical skill, raw solid defensive macro play is just on another level for Serral. There's a few moments where True looked like he could make it happen with those counterattacks, but at the end of the day, Serral is just playing like something we haven't seen a player this good in a while. His mechanics are just out of this world.
This kid is godlike, I gotta say. And a lot of times in my mind's eye, I would imagine, okay, there might be this non-Korean who's really good at being aggressive, and some of these more conservative, traditional Koreans wouldn't be able to stop it. But it's actually the reverse here. We have like the scariest, most aggro ZvZ Zerg, and it's wax on, wax off.
Yeah, man.
He listened to Mr. Miyagi, and he deflected everything.
Just unstoppable. Like, really.
Even with the crane kick.
I'm just blown away. I think it's a real pleasure, and I think he's definitely well on his way to going out of this group now. That's 2-1 or 3-1 scoreline, I believe.
I believe you're correct.
Yeah, 3-1. So he's almost secured his spot through to the next stage, and he's actually in competition for that first spot seed as well.
Let's go and take a quick break here. When we come back, more StarCraft II action here at the Intel Extreme Masters.